You ever have dreams, guys? Really? I mean, like really big, lofty, interesting, exciting, sometimes scary dreams. And I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about dreams like in the future. Like, what am I going to do in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20, for the rest of my life? Whatever dreams. I'm talking about dreams like when you're sleeping type dreams. Dreams are amazing. Some people don't like them. Some people think they're scary. We're going to get into that, really, but I like them. I like dreams. I love having dreams. Dreams are fantastic. They're escape from reality. They are something new, something exciting, something that you don't see in everyday life. Hey, the AC cut off. That's good. You know, I always have AC problems. So anyway, we'll get into all that. I'm deciding to do a second show for this week. Jesus, guys, what time is it? It is 2:29 in the a.m. I wasn't going to do this. I've been thinking about it all week. Well, since I released the Wednesday podcast, which is, going to be my new release day, Wednesdays. So at least once a week, there may be a special bonus throughout the week. And that's what this is. This is going to be a special bonus for a Saturday release. Hopefully, if I get it all uploaded and done and encoded and all that kind of bullshit. But, I've been having some crazy dreams, sleeping dreams throughout this week. And I decided, you know what? I want to share this, and I want to share it while it's fresh on my mind, while I'm thinking about it. So what happens is when I stop taking my, the devil's lettuce, is that what it's called? Let me look that up. I was thinking about that while I just went to the bathroom real quick before I came back in to do this thing because I had to pee. Sometimes you got to pee, And I was thinking about what I was going to say as far as I was going to say my medicine when I'm not taking my medicine. Devil's lettuce. There we go. Devil's lettuce. Okay. Yeah. So what I was going to say is when I'm not taking my medicine, I tend to have dreams in general, and then way more dreams. And maybe not even way more, because when I'm on my medicine, the devil's lettuce, let's just put it that way, I don't tend to have any dreams at all. I really don't. I probably have dreams. I just don't know if I don't recall them or what the deal is. But, I just feel like I don't have any dreams. And I like it when I take a break from taking my medicine for a little while, because I do have tons of dreams. And I mean, they are just so vivid. They are so lifelike. They are so enthralling. They're so enthralling. I think they're enthralling. I'm really engaged. I'm really in them. I'm engrossed. I'm involved. And man, they are just intense. And like I said, vivid. What's that word they use? What was that word in Inception? Not vivid. Lucid. Lucid dreams. That's the word I'm looking for. Let's look that up real quick. Lucid dreams. Lucid dreams. Here we go. Okay. Apparently there's a song called Lucid Dreams, and it's giving me the lyrics to it. Well, I'm not interested in that. What is lucid dreaming? Let's go to this website right here. Is it scientifically proven? Can anyone learn to lucid dream on demand? How long does it take? What else can I use dream control for? So lucid dreaming is where you have, here it is. Lucid dreaming is the ability to consciously observe and or control your dreams. So not only do I have intense dreams when I am off of my medicine, but I have somewhat of an ability to control my dreams, and I can kind of dive in and out of these dreams at will. A lot of people, I remember growing up when I was a kid, I would have these dreams. Sometimes they were scary. Sometimes they were nightmares. Sometimes they were very pleasant dreams. And I would always try to, not always, but sometimes without even trying, I would go back to a dream. And sometimes that would be a nightmare where I would wake up and I'd be like, oh my God, that shark almost got me when I was in the water. And I really am scared out of my mind. And I hope I don't go back to sleep and dream about that again. And sometimes you just do. You go back right into where you left off. Well, for me, I try and do that consciously, and even now, or now, not even now, but now, even if it's a nightmare or a regular pleasant dream or whatever, I try and go right back into it. I don't care what it is. So I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh my gosh, that was crazy. I was falling off of this cliff and I was about to dive into this waterfall and drown in the water, and there was a shark infested and there was some crocodiles or whatever. I will try and go back into that dream because I know it's just a dream, and I like the excitement of it. So I'll try and go back into that. But especially if it's a pleasurable dream, of course. And I remember growing up as a teenager, going through middle school, high school, whatever, and I would have, a dream about a beautiful woman or some girl that I knew at school or some girl that I didn't know at all, whether it be having sex or, getting a blowjob or whatever. You get the point. I would try and go back into those dreams for sure. And I would close my eyes so hard and I would be, oh my gosh, please, can I go back to dreaming about whatever I was dreaming about because it was so awesome. And oh my God, please let me go back into that dream. And I never could. I really couldn't. But it seemed like every time I would have a nightmare, like one time I had this nightmare, I had this giant pool of water on both sides. And there was this bridge, a real skinny bridge going right down the middle of this circle. So it's kind of like, the diameter, Yeah. Is it diameter? Circumference is going around. Diameter is going across, right? And the radius is like halfway across or something. I can't remember. Something I learned in school way back in the day that I've never used again ever. But I want to say the diameter, so going across the entirety of splitting this circle in half. And it was a recurring dream, actually. I had this multiple times, and I would dive back into it multiple times after waking and going back to sleep. But I would have a shark infested on one side of the bridge, or one side of the circle, and then I would have dolphins on the other side. And I would have to be going across, and sometimes I would fall into the shark-infested side, and sometimes I would fall into the dolphin side, and, one is definitely way better or worse than the other. So that was a constant dream I had growing up as a kid. I remember that. In Pepper Hill subdivision there, had that all the time, and I couldn't get away from it. Like I said, I would dive back into that dream over and over and over again. I would wake up and shake it off and say, oh, please don't go back into that. And then I would. But now, with the lucid dreams, and I'm trying to have more control of my dreams, and, I believe really you can do anything with your mind that you want to do. You can control your thoughts. You can control your emotions. You control the way you view the world. You can control your dreams if you really want to. And that's what I've been trying to do. So anyway, I get off the devil's lettuce, I get off the medicine, and I tend to have a lot more dreams and a lot more nightmares each, which is fine with me. I rather enjoy it. To me, it's like going to the movies. I mean, you're getting to see a different reality. Not reality, obviously. It's a dream. Or a nightmare, but you're getting to see a different, something different. You're getting to live a different life. You're getting, I fly a lot in my dreams, a lot. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm getting at. Let's take a look at my notes here. What the hell are dreams? What's going on there? I had when I first got deployed, my first deployment, 2006, when I went to Iraq, Balad, Iraq. Balad Air Base was the base, or it was called Camp Anaconda, was the Army side of the base. So it was Balad Air Base and Camp Anaconda Army Base. We were joint located there. There was other people there too. We had Australians there. We had some British soldiers there. We had Iraqi soldiers, of course, fighting with us as well. The Air Force, the Army, the Marines were there too. I don't really remember any Navy there. I can't recall any Navy there. There might have been some, but I don't think so. It was more Marine, Army. Australia was definitely there. Who else was there? Canadians. The Canadians were there as well. We think of the Canadians as this peaceful country that they never fight anybody, but we had Canadian soldiers there. Females and males, helping us fight the war there in Iraq. Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom, OEF. What was I getting at? Oh, I had my commander there in the physical and occupational therapy department there in our trauma hospital there in Balad. Colonel Smith was her name. She was she was a crazy woman. She was very interesting. Kind of a hippie, a colonel in the Air Force as a hippie. She had this giant book. I mean, like this that was a dream interpretation book. And every time we would come into work, who was there? There was me, the occupational therapist. I had another technician there with me, Rhonda. Had another technician. What was his name? We called him Shirley, Sergeant Shirley. Oh my goodness, how many there? We had Colonel Smith. We had another major there with us, physical therapist. So we had two therapists. We had a occupational therapist, and then us three technicians. So what's that? 6 of us there in the clinic. Within the trauma hospital, we had 3 different inpatient wards, ORs, the whole gamut. We had every single facet of a hospital that you can think of. We had there. We had X-ray, we had pharmacy, we had orthopedics, we had GI, we had what else? We have what's the one that deals with the urinary tract and urology. Pediatrics. We had everything you could think of. But anyway, I digress. Colonel Smith, she had this book about this big of dream interpretation, and every time we came into work, she would say, she would sit us all down, in between patients or whatever, in between mass casualties or whatever was going on for the day, training, cleaning up humanitarian stuff, building new housing facilities, helping with to incorporate a gym or a library or a recreation center, whatever. She would pull us aside and say, "Hey, what'd you dream about last night?" And we would tell her what we dreamt about, and she would dive into the book, or most of it she had memorized, and she would just pull it out of her head and say, "Oh man, that means this, that means that means this," and it was so. I don't know if the word would be enlightening, but it was interesting. Let's just put it that way. To hear her tell the stories of what a dream meant, and it really got you thinking about, wow, that makes a lot of sense as to why that imagery would be there, why that would be looming over your head, or why you would dream about that because you had this anxiety or you had this experience or whatever. It's very interesting. So Colonel Smith, fantastic. She had jet black hair. Of course, she had it pulled up into a bun and, nice and neat during the day. At night, she would kind of let her hair down. It was kind of about the middle of her back. An older lady, of course. She was not old, but she was, what was I in 2006? I don't even know. 16. I'm not going to do any math right now, but she was probably in her 50s, I guess, or late 40s. Was she that old? Doesn't matter. But she had these dream interpretations, and it was very cool. And I've taken from that experience from 2006, and I've carried that on. Every time I have a dream, I will normally pull it up on Google and try and see if I can find out some kind of meaning or reasoning or pin something to why I may have dreamt that. And it's very interesting. And it always seems to kind of line up with what's really going on in your life. Your brain is an amazing thing. I mean, your brain picks up on what's going on in your life and kind of plays it out for you in a dream state and tries to help you interpret it and tries to help you deal with it and play it out. So if you have not, I would highly recommend anytime you have a dream, wake up. And you have to do this. I mean, I'd have to look it up, and you can look it up if you want to, but look up on, because a lot of people don't remember their dreams. You know, you wake up and you're like, oh, I had plenty of dreams last night and they were intense, but I can't remember what they were exactly. And there's a thing for that. I mean, I think I saw something at one point that if you don't remember what you dreamt, like when you wake up, you remember it immediately, but 7 minutes later, it's gone, like completely, like it's wiped out. Like you took some kind of medication, an amnesia medication that made you forget that entire thing. Excuse me. Let's look that up real quick. How long before... And Joe Rogan, by the way, has Jamie do this for him. And he'll say, hey, look up how long before you forget a dream or something. And Jamie will look it up. And Joe Rogan will continue talking with the guest or whatever. And Jamie just does his thing. But I don't have that luxury. How long before you forget a dream? Let's see what that brings up. We dream every 90 minutes throughout the night, and each cycle of dreaming being longer than the previous. The first dream of the night is about 5 minutes long, and the last dream you have before awakening can be 45 minutes to an hour long. All right, I'm going to click on this thing now. That's the synopsis that this website just gave me. But I want to find out how long before you forget what you dreamt about. Because that happens all the time, right? You wake up and you're like, oh my God, that dream was so amazing. And if you don't play it out and kind of recite it to yourself or write it down or whatever, within a certain amount of time, it's gone. You'll never remember what the fuck you remembered or dreamt about. So here's some things. And blah, 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 blah. Dreaming can help you learn is what number 1 says. Number 2 says, just like men, women can have orgasms during their dreams. Number 3 says, the most common dream, your spouse is cheating. Really? Number 4, you can have several, even a dozen dreams in one night. You just may not remember. Okay, so it's not just one dream per night, but rather dozens of them, says experts. You just may not remember them. We dream every 90 minutes throughout the night, with each cycle of dreaming being longer than the previous. The first dream of the night is about 5 minutes long, and the last dream you have before awakening can be 45 minutes to an hour long. It is estimated that most people have more than 100,000 dreams in a lifetime. Number 5 here says you can linger in a dream after waking. Have you ever woken up from such a beautiful, perfect dream that you wish you could go back to sleep to soak it all up? You know, the dream about George Clooney. I haven't dreamt about George Clooney. You can. Just lie still, don't move a muscle, and you can remain in a semi-dreamlike state for a few minutes. The best way to remember your dreams is to simply stay put when you wake up. Remain in the position you woke up in, because that is the position you were dreaming in. When you move your body, you disconnect yourself from the dream you were just 10 seconds ago. And that's exactly what I do. I'm glad it just said that, because that's exactly what I do. I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, that dream was amazing. And I close my eyes and I'm like, just go back. And I'll dive right back in and jump right back in exactly where I left off. So there's a tip for you. Even bizarre dreams can be interpreted, number 6 says. While it can be hard to believe that an oddball dream about your mother, a circus, and a snowstorm can have any bearing on real life, there may be symbolism and potential meaning to be mined in every dream. You just have to look for it. The meaning of our dreams often relates to things we're needing to understand about ourselves and the world around us. Instead of shrugging off strange dreams, think about how they make you feel. We tend to dismiss these dreams due to the strange components, yet it's the feeling we have in these dreams that matters most. Sometimes a circus and a snowstorm are just fillers that allow us to process the range of emotions we feel about our mother and give us the necessary distraction so we can actually experience that spectrum of emotion. Before I go into number 7 here, I'm going to open this beer, guys. So I got this beer here. This is a strawberry rhubarb pie Gose from Westbrook Brewing Company. Give you a little look right there if you can see it. I'm going to pour it into, and we're going to come back to this dream thing. I'm going to pour it into this Oktoberfest glass that I think we picked up last year. I think Tommy, my roommate, maybe picked this up. It's Oktoberfest starting tomorrow. This is not the proper glassware for this beer, for this sour, but you know what? We're going to meld two different things going on here. So we got a Gose from Westbrook. We're going to pour it into this Oktoberfest glass. Ooh, smells good. Let's talk about that real briefly. Strawberry rhubarb pie Gose from Westbrook Brewing Company right here in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. It's a sour Gose. It's fruited, brewed with strawberry, rhubarb, vanilla, and spices. That's all it tells me. It's a 4.5% ABV. It's got 5 IBUs, and it's got an average rating of 4.19. Had this earlier today at work. It's delicious. If you have not had this, go out and get you one. You can definitely get the slight burn of the spices, the cinnamon there. You get the vanilla, definitely strawberry. I'm not quite sure what rhubarb is supposed to taste like, so I don't know if I'm even getting rhubarb in it. But that's because I don't know what rhubarb is. I know what it is, actually, because we had 2 giant rhubarb bushes growing in front of our house when I lived in Eagle River, Alaska, when I was stationed out there. We always meant to harvest it during the proper time of the year and make some rhubarb pie or some kind of bullshit like that. Never did. We never did. But they were amazing little plants. They actually looked very cool in front of the house, but we never did harvest any of it and make any pie out of it. So we should have. I don't know why we didn't. Maybe that's one reason I got divorced. Probably not. But yeah, there you go, guys. This thing is delicious. Get you some of that right there. All right, let's go back to the dreams thing here. By the way, if you haven't noticed, I'm back to my Microsoft Surface. Fuck that Mac that I had. It was, I need to get it back to the person that loaned it to me, actually. But it was good for a little while. It did quite a few things that I liked. And I liked it in general. The format of it, I'm an iPhone user, so I liked the interface. I thought it was cool. But for some reason, this damn Audacity just did not like it. I don't know why. Matter of fact, let's check Audacity. Yeah, still running. Hopefully. I thought it was running on the other computer, and then all kind of audio would drop out of it, and I'd be fucked. But we are about 25 minutes in at the moment. Let's get back to these dreams. So, Even bizarre dreams can be interpreted. We talked about that. Number 7, recurring dreams may be your mind's way of telling you something. You have the same nightmare over and over again. This guy suggests looking for underlying messages in recurring dreams that you can rid yourself of them. For example, a common recurring nightmare people have involves losing or cracking their teeth. For this dream, she recommends that people think about what your teeth and your mouth represent. To the dreaming mind, your teeth, as well as any part of your mouth, are symbolic of your words. Okay. Paying attention to your teeth dreams help you to monitor and improve the way you communicate. Interesting. So that's what I'm saying, man. Go out and get you a book or get you something online, Audible, dig into some Google websites, whatever. You'll be very interested to see some of the interpretations of what your dreams mean. They're not at all what you think they are. You would think that something about your mouth and losing teeth and shit would be about bad hygiene or about bad teeth maintenance, and that you need to buy some different toothpaste and mouthwash. But that's not what it means at all, according to this thing. Number 8, you can control your dreams. I talked about inception. I talked about that a minute ago. You can take the reins of your dreams. According to the results of a new survey of 3,000 people, dream control or lucid dreaming may be a real thing. In fact, 64.9% of participants reported being aware they were dreaming within a dream. And 34% said that they can sometimes control what happens in their dreams. Taking charge of the content of the dreams isn't a skill everyone has, but it can be developed. And that's what I've been trying to do over the past several years, and I think I'm getting a good handle on it. Why do I keep shaking? I'm like a meth addict over here. I'm shaking and my legs are just going back and forth. Where was I? A dream researcher and visiting scholar at the Graduate Theological Union in Berkeley, California, the technique is particularly useful for people who suffer from recurring nightmares. He suggests giving yourself a pep talk of sorts before you go to sleep by saying, if I have that dream again, I'm going to try to remember that it's only a dream and be aware of that. When you learn to be aware that you are dreaming within a dream, you not only have the power to steer yourself away from the monster and into the arms of Brad Pitt. Why is it always the guys? George Clooney is Brad Pitt? Come on. What about Natalie Portman or something like that, or Drew Barrymore? Anyway, but you can train your mind to avoid nightmares in the first place. Lucid dreaming enhances your ability to learn from the dream state. And I've learned not to mind. I don't care if it's a nightmare. I don't care if it's a dream. I enjoy the journey. And like I said, I've learned to kind of steer myself through those different dreams and nightmares. So that makes it better for sure. But I enjoy both. I enjoy a good nightmare. It's almost like watching a horror movie. And I enjoy a great, beautiful sexual dream or whatever. It's like watching, I don't know. What would that be like? It's like watching the Princess Bride or something. So, oh man. Let's see here. Number 9. You don't have to be asleep to dream. Turns out you can dream at your desk at work, in the car, or even at your kid's soccer game. Wakeful dreaming, not to be confused with daydreaming, is real and somewhat easy to do. It just involves tapping into your active. Okay, so I don't know. What was I even looking at this website for? I don't even remember now, but we went through a bunch of stuff. That's dreams. That's dreaming. Why do I bring all this up, guys? Well, like I said, when I stop taking some medication, I tend to have more dreams. When I'm taking medication, I don't tend to dream at all. At least I don't recall them. I don't remember them. I don't feel like I have any dreams whatsoever. But according to all these websites, I'm dreaming constantly. So somehow the medication is shutting off that part of my brain that recalls the dream, I guess, or remembers it when I wake up. Oh, what I was looking up was, damn it. It didn't explain that at all. Is how long before you forget a dream? How long are dreams? Why do we forget our dreams? Here we go. Let's see if this says anything. The reason why you do not remember your dreams usually when you wake up is due to the fact that most of our dreaming happens during our REM stage of sleep. And since, these are just people talking bullshit right here. I want to see some real data. We forget our dreams. That's the same thing. How to forget a bad dream. 10 interesting facts about dreams. Let's see what that says. I don't know if this is interesting at all, but I find it very interesting. 95% of dreams are quickly forgotten. Animals may dream as well. Negative emotions in dreams are common. You dream 2 hours per night. Even those who claim not to. In fact, researchers have found that people usually have several dreams each night, each one typically lasting between 5 to 20 minutes. You forget most of your dreams. Here we go. As much of 90%, what, I don't even know what that word is. As much of 95% of all dreams are quickly forgotten shortly after waking. According to one theory about why dreams are so difficult to remember, the changes in the brain that occur during sleep do not support the information processing and storage needed for memory formation to take place. So it's a problem with the hard drive is what the problem is. You're dreaming and it's your brain's just not storing that information. Just like this computer. Sometimes I'll do audio on this fucking thing and it doesn't store it. It doesn't compute it. It's a computer. It doesn't compute it. It doesn't store it. Doesn't process it. And then it's not there. Same thing with a dream, I guess. Your hard drive just doesn't store the fucking thing. Brain scans of sleeping individuals have shown that the frontal lobes, the area that plays a key role in memory formation, are inactive during rapid eye movement sleep, the stage in which dreaming occurs. So, that's your hard drive right there, your memory. It's not storing it. Not all dreams are in color. Mine seem to be all in color. I don't dream in black and white. There are small people who claim to only dream in black and white. In studies where dreamers have been awakened and asked to select colors from a chart that match those in their dreams, soft pastel colors are most frequently chosen. Men and women dream differently. Researchers found some differences between men and women. Men reported dreaming about weapons. I don't dream about weapons. Women dreamed about references to clothing. Yeah, I don't do that either. Men's dreams seem to have more aggressive content and physical activity, while women's dreams contain more rejection and exclusion, as well as more conversation than physical activity. Women tend to have slightly longer dreams that feature more characters. When it comes to the characters that typically appear in dreams, men dream about other men twice as often as they do about women. I don't find that to be true. Well, women tend to dream about both sexes equally. I would say that's probably more in my line of dream. Here it says again, it's possible to control your dreams. A lucid dream is one in which you are aware that you are dreaming even though you're still asleep. Lucid dreaming is thought to be a combination state of both consciousness and REM sleep, during which you can often direct or control the dream content. Approximately half of all people can remember experiencing at least one instance of lucid dreaming. Some individuals are able to have lucid dreams quite frequently, and that's what I'm trying to work on. Blah, 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 blah. Blind people may dream visually. Oh, here we go. This is what I'm going to get into here in a second. You are paralyzed during your dreams. REM sleep is characterized by paralysis of the voluntary muscles. The phenomenon is known as REM atonia and prevents you from acting out your dreams while you're asleep. Basically, because motor neurons are not stimulated, your body does not move. In some cases, the paralysis can even carry over into the waking state for as long as 10 minutes, a condition known as sleep paralysis. Man, what a great transition. While the experience can be frightening, experts advise that it is perfectly normal and should last only a few minutes before normal muscle control returns. All right, so let's get into it. So that was going to be my next topic, and we'll probably end with this. I've got some other stuff I'll talk about for the Wednesday release next week that I'll just leave on the notes here. But yeah, three times that I can recall, and I just turned 47 years old on September 4th. Happy birthday to me. 3 times that I can recall in my entire lifetime, I've had sleep paralysis, which I just touched on right there in that on this website. Excuse me. Man, how rude was that? 3 times in my entire lifetime. Here's the cool fact or the creepy fact, however you want to look at it. The 3 times have been right up here in this loft. I have a second level to this loft here in the studio, Craft Conversation Studio. I have a bed up there. I'll sleep up there from time to time. All 3 times that I've had sleep paralysis have been in this studio, in that upper loft, in that bed. I even did an episode. It wasn't about sleep paralysis, but I did an episode a while back. I was telling a friend of mine about it, or my girlfriend about it, really. Here recently that, what was I saying? Oh, I did an episode a while back called The Addict episode. And I just watched a horror movie called The Haunting of Hill House. Is that what the name of it was? The House on Haunting Hill. The Haunting of Hill House. I think it was called The Haunting of Hill House. I just watched that. I was going to sleep and I heard all kind of ruckus coming out of my attic space that's up here in the upper loft. I've got an attic space that like a walk-in attic thing that goes across, and I heard it was all kind of ruckus and things going on. I think I had some nightmares that night, and I went on a quest the next couple of nights to try and find and see if there was any type of paranormal activity going on in my house. So I did a whole episode about it. I even did some video content that I posted on Facebook where I was going through my upper attic and that walk-in attic trying to see if I could find any traces of some kind of ghost or paranormal activity or spirit or whatever. So you can go back and listen to that episode, the attic episode. Let's see if I can tell you what episode that was so you can go back and just take a look. But like I said, all 3 instances that I've had of sleep paralysis have been in this house, in this loft, or in this studio, in this bed. I've never had it anywhere else. I've lived so many places. You're offline. I'm not offline, dude. Let's turn this off. I've lived so many places in my life. You know, being in the military, I've gone so many places. I've lived in my parents' house, obviously, a few different times. I've lived in other people's houses when I've had some separations back and forth, during my marriage. And I've never, ever, 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 ever had any sleep paralysis that I can think of. And 3 times here in this house, in this loft, in this bed. Let's see. Let's go back. Thankful episode. I need some music when I'm looking up stuff like this. And I think Caleb had said that at one time. We need some like Jeopardy music or something. But here we go. No, that's way too far back. Solo, ask me a question. Boom, obstacles. Leadership, control your mind. Thursday. Oh, you know what it is? I'm looking on YouTube, and that's before I got the video back up and running. I'm looking at the computer. I should be looking at the camera. That's before I got the video back up and running. And it was only on the audio podcast at that point. So let's see. Man, I really want to find it because I want you guys to go back and take a listen. Because I thought it was a good episode, really. It was interesting. They're all interesting, but paranormal, that's always interesting, right? Good Lord. Where the heck is it? All right, we're going to find it. Right here, we're going to find it. We're going to find it very quickly, and we're going to move on. Because I got to get to bed, man. It's, what time is it now? Hell, fuck, it's after 3 o'clock in the morning already. I wasn't going to do this episode, and I was laying down in the bed, and I said, you know what? You've been saying you're going to do this thing forever. Just get up and do the goddamn episode. So that's what I did. Oh, here we go. Episode number 44. It's called the Attic episode. And what's the description on it? The description on it is Brian talks the haunting of Hill House, Ghost, the paranormal, his excursions with New Brian, which is my son, cheesesteaks, and what his next topics will be. So check that one out. It was, I think it was very good. It's only 48 minutes long. It's a short episode. Get out there and take a listen. Episode 44, the Attic episode. All right, so what was I getting to? So the first sleep paralysis dream I had, I was in the bed, and I seemed to always be laying on my back. And I did read something that said that that's a common occurrence, that a lot of times sleep paralysis happens when you're sleeping on your back. And most times I'm a side sleeper, either one side or the other, normally both throughout the night. And I'll do some back sleeping as well. Basically, I'll be on my right side, I'll go to my back, then I'll go to my left side, then I'll go back to my back, then I'll go to my right side. I just kind of keep going back and forth. But all 3 times I've had sleep paralysis, I've been lying on my back. The first one, I awoke, and each time I do it, I kind of describe it as, if you can see my eyes kind of blinking back and forth. If you're just listening to the audio, you won't. But just imagine your eyes blinking very fast. And it's kind of like, imagine a Super 8 video, or an old style video where you see just kind of some flickering going on the tape. And that's kind of how I feel when I have these paralysis dreams. So I have this flickering where I feel like I'm half awake, half asleep. I can see the room, I can see what's going on, but I can't. I'm still kind of half asleep, whatever. This particular instance, I was, the flickering starts going on, and I'm awake, but I'm not. Am I really awake? And I saw this demon on the wall, and I can't describe what it looked like. It was just kind of a shadowy figure, kind of dark, menacing by the wall. And of course, I'm yelling at it and like, oh my God, get away from me. And I'm scared. The hair's raising up on my arms, all this kind of thing. It was on the wall, and then it was near the entrance to the loft. So I have a curtain that goes up through this entranceway that goes from the lower loft to the upper loft. And initially I saw the image to the left of me on the wall, and then all of a sudden it was at the curtain that I have set up in between the 2 levels. And I remember when it moved over to the curtain, I remember my right leg. I was trying to kick it with my right leg, and my right leg was kind of out of the covers, and it was kicking at the demon, at the curtain, at the foot of my bed. And I was just trying desperately to. I felt like it was going to start coming at me, and I was just desperately trying to just kick it away. That's really all I can remember from the first instance that I had. The second instance that I had, I remember waking up, or I remember hearing a bang, like a gunshot. And I remember waking up, same thing, I'm paralyzed, I can't move. And the one before that, the only thing I could move was my leg, just kind of kicking the covers up, trying to kick at that demon that was at the foot of my bed. The rest of me, I could not move. My arms were paralyzed. I couldn't talk. I couldn't utter any words or scream or any of that kind of stuff. The second time, I heard that gunshot, and then again, my eyes kind of opened up, and I started that fluttering, that flickering of a movie, of a tape from the 80s, the 70s, whatever. And I kept thinking, when I heard the gunshot, I thought it was my roommate, Thomas, downstairs. I thought he had shot himself, or I thought, he had a gun and had shot something. But my thought was that he had committed suicide, that he had just shot himself. And I remember trying to call out to him, and I kept, my lips were moving, my mouth was moving, and I was trying to yell out, Tommy, 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 are you okay? Those type of words, and nothing, just those types of things. No words were being formed whatsoever. I mean, my mouth was paralyzed. My throat was paralyzed, esophagus, whatever, voice box. Couldn't say a thing. I kept trying to call out, and I kept trying to get up, but I couldn't. I was paralyzed. And that's why it's called sleep paralysis. The third time happened just this week. And again, these all happen when I'm not taking my medication. And I have these lucid dreams. So this one, I was laying there again on my back. I was kind of facing my head was kind of rotating face to the left. I had my right arm across my chest. My left arm was kind of stretched out beside me. And I thought I heard someone coming into the room, the lower loft, and through the doorway. And I kept trying to yell out, "Who's there? Who's there? Who is there? Hello? Is somebody there? Who's there?" But again, mouth couldn't put those words together. Couldn't say them. I vividly remember, again, the flashing of my eyes. I could see the room through the flashes. I knew it was light. The sun had just started coming up. My mouth was making those motions, but it was just murmurs, coming out. I couldn't get the words out. And then all of a sudden, I felt something. Again, I was looking to the left. I felt something sit down and depress the mattress on my right side, right on the edge of the mattress, kind of right near where my butt would be. I felt something sit and depress the mattress down. And I couldn't do anything about it. I couldn't turn. I kept, my arm was here. I kept trying to get my arm out of the covers. It was kind of up underneath the sheet. I kept trying to move my arm and get it out and turn over. I kept trying to turn my head. I kept trying to speak out and speak to whoever or whomever or whatever had just sat down on the side of the bed. Nothing. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. And eventually, speaking about this lucid dreaming and controlling things, I eventually got the will or the power or the energy or whatever to kind of shake my head. And I shook my head back and forth to try and wake me up. And eventually it woke me up and my arm broke free. And I kind of looked around and, of course, nothing there, no one there. It's you just kind of wake up out of it. And it was it's scary. It's scary as hell. But when I think back on it and when I'm talking about it now, it's kind of exciting. And that was 2 days ago. Was it 2 days ago? I think it was 2 days ago. Today is Friday, Thursday. I think it was Wednesday night that I had that dream, or early in the morning, that sleep paralysis. And the next night, I wanted to try and have another one of those moments because, as I said, I'm trying to get into this lucid dreaming where I can control my dreams. And I wanted to go back into that paralysis and try and figure out how to come out of it. better than I had in the past. And what I've read is the sleep paralysis is protecting you, just like I kind of read in a couple of these websites earlier. It's protecting you from, hurting, your significant other that's sleeping in the bed with you, or hurting yourself or whatever. Your brain is putting you in that paralysis to keep you from acting out and doing stupid stuff during these dreams. But I want to try and control it and bring myself out of it quicker than I did. I don't want to sit in that state and be frightened like I was for that long. I want to be able to try and bring myself out of that quicker than I have in the past. So that's my goal. That sleep paralysis. So I put a question out there on Facebook, how many people have had that, and it's amazing the amount of people that said yes, 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 yes. So it's a common occurrence, and it's scary as hell. If you haven't had it, I don't recommend it if you're scared of things like that, or if you're queasy or you're faint of heart, whatever. But I kind of enjoy it. I think it's fun. And I think it's fun because I've learned this lucid part of the dreams where I can tell kind of dream from reality, and I realize that I'm just actually dreaming, and that I know that I just have to get myself out of it. So it's interesting, guys. It is interesting. I've got so much more to talk about, but I spent a lot of time on dreams. This is going to be the Dreamy episode, I think is what I'm going to call it. I have so many more things to talk about that I'm going to save for the episode for Wednesday this upcoming week. I hope you guys have a great weekend. If I can get this stuff uploaded, you're going to hear this early Saturday morning for your weekend, give you something to listen to. And I'm going to try and produce, like I said, at least one show a week. There may be a special bonus episode in there occasionally, like I'm doing right now. So I've got a few people I want to try and get on. But anyway, it's late. It is now, what's the time now, guys? It is now 3:20 in the a.m. I'm going to try and piece all this together and get it out for you. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Man, we're at 52 minutes. Jesus Christ. Just talking about dreams. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I hope you continue to listen. I hope you find this content beneficial and entertaining and enlightening and all those good things. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, please hit me up on Facebook. You can hit me up on Instagram. You can make a post on Podbean, Spotify, any of the places that this stuff is out there on. Shoot me some. I can't even think. Shoot me some questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, whatever. And I love you guys. And you know what? I'll talk to you soon.